For more than a century, air power has been America's ultimate guarantor of security. From the P-51 Mustangs over Europe to the F-22 Raptors that still dominate the skies, the United States has set the gold standard for military aviation. Make no mistake, no other nation has combined technology, doctrine, and global reach the way America has. But in recent years, a new challenger has stepped into the spotlight. On December 2024, timed deliberately with the birthday of Mao Zedong, China unveiled images of what it claims to be its own sixth-generation fighter, the J-36. Almost overnight, military forums, analysts, and media outlets erupted with speculation. Could Beijing really be closing the gap? Could the J-36, still shrouded in secrecy, one day rival America's most advanced projects? The questions matter because the stakes could not be higher. The future of air dominance is not just about planes, it's about who controls the strategic balance of the 21st century. Washington has already moved decisively, launching the Next Generation Air Dominance Program, or NGAD, and developing the B-21 Raider, the world's most advanced stealth bomber. These projects reaffirm America's intent. The United States will not surrender its edge. And yet, the emergence of the J-36 has stirred unease. For decades, China was dismissed as a copier, borrowing, reverse engineering, and imitating. Now it is presenting a prototype that, on paper, looks bold, futuristic, and ambitious. The truth is still hidden. Is this a genuine breakthrough or a carefully crafted image designed to project power? This is the big question we must confront. Is China really catching up, or is America still far ahead, writing the rules of the skies? On May 21, 2025, President Donald Trump signed one of the most consequential defense contracts of the modern era. The agreement authorized the development of America's own sixth-generation fighter, the F-47, a centerpiece of the Next Generation Air Dominance Program, NGAD. This wasn't just another project, it was a declaration to the world. The United States intends to keep air superiority for decades to come. The contract placed Boeing, after triumphing over several of America's largest defense competitors, in charge of leading one of Washington's most ambitious military ventures in recent memory. Analysts were quick to point out the message this sent. Despite the rise of challengers, America is determined to extend its era of dominance well into the 21st century. For every new prototype Beijing rolls out, Washington is ready with its own leap forward. But the F-47 is not the only symbol of this commitment. In December 2022, the United States unveiled the B-21 Raider, a next-generation stealth bomber designed with a flying wing structure, no vertical tail, and radar cross-sections so small they're almost invisible. The B-21 is more than an aircraft, it is a ghost in the sky. Armed with up to 9 tons of payload, it can carry nuclear weapons, penetrating bombs, and advanced cruise missiles like JASSM-ER. More critically, it boasts an unrefueled combat radius of 9,600 kilometers. That means a Raider launched from Alaska could reach deep inside the Chinese mainland without ever stopping for fuel. If deployed from forward bases in Guam or Australia, the strike time would shrink dramatically, opening the door for surprise attacks against the most critical military and political centers. And the Raider is not just a bomber. It is an electronic warfare platform, a command hub, and a force multiplier, capable of working in tandem with swarms of drones and future fighters. Military experts call it the strategic punch of the 21st century. Even Chinese state media, often quick to downplay American achievements, describe the B-21 as a strategic threat that current Chinese fighters like the J-20 are incapable of countering. Make no mistake, while Beijing shows pictures of prototypes, the United States has already fielded operational, cutting-edge systems. The NGAD program and the B-21 Raider are proof that America is not standing still. It is preparing, innovating, and ensuring that no rival can wrest air dominance away. This is America's answer: bold, proven, and unmatched. On December 2024, on the birthday of Mao Zedong, China made a calculated move. Beijing released a series of photographs showcasing what it claimed to be its first sixth-generation fighter prototype, the J-36. The timing was no accident. It was a symbolic declaration to the world. China is no longer content to copy. It intends to challenge America's air dominance head-on. The J-36 immediately captured international attention. Analysts across Asia, Europe, and the United States dissected every pixel of the leaked images. Military forums lit up with speculation. Could this really be the aircraft to counter the B-21 Raider? Could it force America's fifth-generation fighters, like the F-22 and F-35, into obsolescence? According to Chinese statements, the J-36 remains in testing but is expected to enter service by 2030. In Beijing's strategic calculus, it would be the spearhead, designed to neutralize America's newest platforms. More than a fighter, it was framed as proof that China had escaped the long shadow of reliance on Russian or Western technology. The design itself raised eyebrows. Unlike traditional fighters, the J-36 features a tailless delta wing configuration paired with a refined canard layout. Satellite imagery from the Yuliang test base revealed a fuselage larger than the F-35, yet smaller than the B-21 Raider, a hybrid silhouette that seemed to combine stealth with payload capacity. The cockpit was even more unusual. The photos suggested a bubble canopy with two seats placed side by side. This arrangement is almost unheard of in modern fighter design, where single-seat cockpits dominate. But China appeared to be pursuing a different philosophy. One pilot dedicated to flight and combat, the other potentially managing UAV coordination and electronic warfare systems. In Beijing's vision, the J-36 could function not only as a fighter, but as a miniature airborne command center. For propaganda purposes, the J-36 was presented as a symbol of independence and ambition. Chinese state media hailed it as the answer to America's B-21, a shield in the sky that could shadow the Raider across the Pacific. By rolling out images timed with Mao's birthday, Beijing wasn't just revealing a prototype, it was telling the world that China was ready to play by new rules. Yet even then, critical questions remained. Were these photographs genuine prototypes or carefully staged visuals designed to shape perception? For now, the truth remains elusive. But the message was clear. China wants the world to believe it is ready to compete. On paper, the J-36 looks impressive. Chinese designers claim it brings together a series of next-generation features that could redefine how Beijing wages war in the air. Its tailless delta wing and canard layout are intended to reduce radar cross-section and improve aerodynamics. The use of composite materials and advanced surface coatings suggests a serious push toward full-spectrum stealth, a field where China has long lagged behind. Leaked photos and satellite images also indicate that the J-36 carries not just a central weapons bay, but two additional side bays. The implication is clear. This fighter can handle a heavy payload. The central bay could store long-range air-to-air missiles or precision-guided bombs, while the side bays are suited for smaller missiles or tactical strike weapons. If accurate, this design would allow the J-36 to act as both a heavyweight fighter and a miniature bomber, bridging two roles that traditionally require separate aircraft. The radar system appears to be another highlight. Reports suggest a large nose-mounted radar coupled with infrared sensors on both sides. In theory, this would give the J-36 the ability to track dozens of targets simultaneously while sharing data in real time with allied forces. Chinese propaganda has gone so far as to call it the Eye of the Sky, a system that could coordinate fighters, UAVs, and even naval forces in joint operations. But perhaps the most significant ambition lies not in the hardware itself, but in what the J-36 represents for Beijing. For decades, China has been labeled a copycat, dependent on Russian engines, Western avionics, and borrowed blueprints. The J-36 is being positioned as a break from that past, a homegrown icon meant to show that China can innovate, not just imitate. Chinese state media has already framed the J-36 as a strategic counterweight to the B-21 Raider. Where America fields its stealth bomber as a long-range fist, Beijing wants to present the J-36 as a shield in the sky, fast, maneuverable, and ready to intercept. In other words, this aircraft isn't just a fighter, it's propaganda, prestige, and power rolled into one. For all the bold claims, the J-36 carries some glaring weaknesses, cracks in the armor that reveal just how far China still has to go. The first and most obvious issue is its engine configuration. Reports and leaked imagery suggest that the J-36 is powered by three jet engines, arranged with flat nozzles to improve stealth. On paper, This offers greater thrust and payload capacity, but in reality, it exposes China's Achilles heel, the lack of a powerful, efficient next-generation engine. A true sixth-generation fighter should be able to achieve supercruise, sustained supersonic flight without afterburners, using just two advanced engines. America, Russia, and Europe have all pursued this path. China, by contrast, has had to bolt on a third engine, a stopgap solution that raises new problems. Three engines mean more heat, and more heat means a larger infrared signature, a glowing target for modern sensors. The F-35 and European fighters already carry next-gen infrared tracking systems, designed specifically to hunt aircraft that rely on brute force thrust. Unless Beijing has developed revolutionary cooling technology, the J-36 could end up as a bright beacon in the skies. Make no mistake, stealth is not just about radar, it's about heat, and heat is hard to hide. The second flaw is its aerodynamics. By adopting a tailless flying wing design, China may have reduced radar visibility, but at a steep cost. Without vertical stabilizers or tail surfaces, the aircraft becomes inherently unstable in flight. Control must be managed almost entirely by fly-by-wire software and onboard computers. If the software glitches, or worse, if electronic warfare disrupts its systems, the J-36 could quickly lose stability. This is not hypothetical. It is a known risk with such configurations. And unlike the United States, China has never proven absolute reliability in advanced fly-by-wire systems. Next comes the problem of range and deployment. While the J-36 may theoretically carry more fuel, its ability to operate over long distances depends heavily on aerial refueling. Here, China faces a crippling shortfall. The People's Liberation Army Air Force, PLA-RAF, relies on a limited number of aging tankers, many converted from H-6 bombers, with restricted range. A newer project based on the Y-20 transport aircraft has begun, but experts believe it will take at least a decade before China has a fleet large enough to support global operations. Until then, the J-36's supposed long-range reach is largely theoretical. Finally, there is the question of scale. Building one prototype is easy. Deploying squadrons is hard. A modern sixth-generation fighter demands advanced supply chains, maintenance crews, and pilot training at an unprecedented level. For a nation still struggling to mass-produce reliable engines, the leap to large-scale deployment will be a monumental challenge. So while Beijing promotes the J-36 as the future, the reality is clear. It is still a prototype, a vision more than a weapon. America, meanwhile, already flies operational stealth bombers, fifth-generation fighters, and is well on its way to fielding NGAD. The J-36 may look futuristic, but looks can deceive. Until China proves otherwise, the skies still belong to the United States. At the end of the day, the J-36 remains an enigma. Beyond leaked photographs and speculative analysis, there has been no public flight test, no confirmed specifications, and no official demonstration. For all its futuristic design and bold propaganda, it is still just a prototype, an idea more than a weapon. And yet its appearance matters. The J-36 serves as a psychological tool, a way for Beijing to project confidence and unsettle its rivals. It forces Washington to remain alert, to continue investing, and to prepare for the future. But let's be clear, that is not the same as China overtaking America. Make no mistake, the United States still owns the skies. America operates proven systems, the F-22 Raptor, the F-35 Lightning II, and the brand new B-21 Raider, while the NGAD program is already underway. These platforms are not mere renderings. They fly, they fight, they dominate. No other nation has such a comprehensive network of stealth, refueling, electronic warfare, and global basing. The significance of the J-36 lies less in what it can do today and more in what it signals. China's ambition to shift from a defensive posture, anti-access area denial, A2AD, to an offensive strategy capable of challenging U.S. presence in the Pacific. It is a wake-up call, but not a threat America cannot handle. For the United States, the path forward is clear. We must continue to innovate, to modernize, and to strengthen alliances. Air dominance is not just a military advantage. It is the foundation of global stability and American security. Beijing may seek to change the rules, but America is still the one writing them. The J-36 might one day evolve into a formidable weapon, or it might fade into history as another ambitious but flawed prototype. Either way, America's responsibility is the same, to ensure that when it comes to the future of air combat, the United States not only keeps pace, but stays ahead. The skies of the 21st century are not up for grabs. They remain firmly under the wings of the United States of America. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the skies, where technology, power, and ambition collide. If this story captured your attention, we invite you to explore more of our productions. Deep dives into military history, cutting-edge technology, and the strategies that will shape tomorrow's battles. And as we close, may you go forth with strength and clarity. May wisdom guide your thoughts, courage guard your heart, and peace be with you always. For as it is written, those who seek truth shall not walk in darkness, but in light.